Hello, hello. Another day, another market open. How's everybody doing? Leave in the comments. We are here March 2nd, 2022. And Emmanuel, hello. We've got some crazy stuff going on, guys, because Palantir is doing some ridiculous stuff. We're gonna cover some of the stuff that's going on with Palantir. We're gonna look at the market. Michael Ray, what's up? Dr. Z, yo. March 2nd, 2022. Good morning, Amit ERP Pro. Good morning, Alice Rodriguez. What's up? How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm getting through it. Greetings from Norway. Nice live videos lately. What's up, Jasper? Top of the morning. Dr. Kramer's talking smack. Bro, this Kramer's. We got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's get into it. First of all, we have some Palantir news that's coming out. That's pretty crazy. I'll do some videos on it, obviously, but let's first open up the main headlines that I want to talk about, and then we'll get into the rest of the market open. So let me pull this up real quick. Here we go. Are we ready? Let's share my screen. Share my screen. Big stuff with Palantir here over the UK. Oh, we're going to talk about that. We will talk about that. All right, right here. First thing, Jacobs and Palantir launch global strategic partnership for data solutions. Again, this is the thing about covering this company, guys. There's just a lot of things to cover. There's just a lot of stuff to cover. Tony, regards from Barcelona. What's up, Tony? How are you? Matthew, Marpam, good morning, Amit. Good morning, Matthew. So let's get into this. I haven't read this, by the way, guys. I just saw the headlines like on Twitter really like 10, 15 minutes ago. So I'll be reading this for the first time as you. Jacobs and Palantir launch global strategic partnership for data solutions. Initial focus in water sector capitalizes on global stimulus and infrastructure, accelerates Jacobs' strategy as a leading technology-enabled solution provider, and facilitates Palantir's entrance into the critical infrastructure market. So let's first off, let's look at Jacobs as well. Let's see what type of company they are. Look, put it in the chat if you know what Jacobs is as a company. Let me share my screen here. So Jacobs, before we get into the press release, let's see what they do. Let's go to their About Us. Across our company, across our offices, across the world, we're continually challenging today to reinvent tomorrow. We make the world smarter, more connected, and more sustainable. Interesting. So 14 billion in annual revenue, 55,000 employees, 40 countries. It seems like they're a strategic firm that works in particular sectors for sustainability. Yeah, look at this. Health, water, innovation, equality, legacy, and climate. That's sort of their overall thesis in terms of how they work with sustainability. Interesting. All right, let's go back to the press release and we'll keep going there. Dallas and Denver. Jacobs and Palantir Technologies today announced a global strategic partnership targeting data and technology solutions for the infrastructure and national security markets. The near-term focus of this relationship is the water sector, critical enabling infrastructure, and involves the launch of a joint data analytics offering to support public and private sectors in solving the most complex water infrastructure problems. Water infrastructure. Like we got Palantir aiming at all these different areas. The water data here we go. Water data analytics solution aggregates and analyzes plant data to manage and optimize water and waste treatment plant operation aimed at reducing costs and improving performance. The partnership plans to expand and commercialize this innovative solution. Let's see what some quotes. Jacobs' leadership in the water sector will provide industrial AI and software solutions combined with Palantir's best-in-class platform. Interesting. Will deliver innovative solutions to our global network of water infrastructure clients, and in the process, unlock new opportunities to create a more connected and sustainable world. Jacob will leverage its existing O&M portfolio as well as its proprietary machine learning modules and wastewater process optimization tools such as Replica to develop and pilot a dynamic management solution suite that combines the Foundry operating system connecting day-to-day site operations with AI to optimize power, chemical uses, and asset management. So the way I understand this here is that there are plants and there is water sustainability problems in those plants, and it's a data problem to make sure that water gets operationalized in a meaningful way. Oh, we have a quote from Carp. Okay, quote from Carp. Palantir is proud to partner with Jacobs to revolutionize water treatment and looks forward to the working together across sectors tackling the world's most pressing problems, because Jacobs is a sustainability firm across a lot of problems. And again, $14 billion in revenue. Jacobs' vision, technical expertise, and speed of execution make Jacobs an ideal partner for Palantir. Now, Foundry is an operating system designed to break down silos between disparate data systems, creating a central operating system for an organization's data. So if they're operating on a data problem, that's why it's necessarily really important. Interesting. Let's go back to Jacobs and just look at what they're doing. Marco in the chat, Palantir is a meme stock. Again, Marco, you keep joining these Palantir discussions. I don't know if I think you're thinking of buying. If it's such a, I mean, is this a meme, Marco? Is Jacobs and Palantir partnering to operationalize water security with AI a meme? I don't know. Let's look at this. Solutions. Look at the solutions. Critical solutions for a more connected, sustainable world. We start to ask what if to surface new possibilities to harness deep technical expertise to bring bold solutions to fruition. Intelligence, water, infrastructure, discovery, renewal, mobility, tackling the world's toughest problems, environmental, transportation, water, health, built environment, advanced facilities, power, cyber intelligence, weapon systems and mission systems, nuclear life cycle, advanced R&D, and technical facilities. Here's what they do. So consulting, program construction and management, operations management, design, build, construction, maintenance, and turnarounds. Well, they do that to the tune of $14 billion. So that is definitely a lot. I'll be retired by 40 off of Palantir. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's even earlier than that, to be honest. So that was the first thing that happened. You said market doesn't care about the partnership because they barely disclosed any details. Yeah, I mean, again, this is a world in which these types of things don't really release details. They're not trying to, from what I understand with these partnerships, shoot up the stock price. These things are rather here to ensure shareholders in the market that things are getting done behind the scenes, and these things are important. But even in this type of macro level economy, this is not something that gets the stock price up 15-20% a day. That's just like not the nature of it. And then something else launched last night. There was an FT article with Palantir and the NHS. So let's share my screen on that. Here we go. Chrome tab. Boom. All right. Palantir technology to help cut NHS elective care backlog. The U.S. Data Analytics Group will roll out its software across 30 hospitals trust following successful pilot. Oh, wow. It's between a paywall. Oh, to read the article, please. Which of the following website builders? I've heard of Shopify. Next. GoDaddy. Next. Squarespace. Submit. Boom. There we go. All right. Palantir, the controversial data analytics firm, is best known for its ties to the defense and security industries, is rolling out its software across UK's NHS to help reduce the backlog of 6 million patients waiting for elective care. Now, we know that Palantir has worked with the NHS before, so they definitely have a relationship here. So now that they're working with the NHS in this sector, it seems to make a lot of sense in terms of ultimately what they're going to be doing. The U.S. company's data processing technology will be spread across 30 hospital trusts, bodies that organize healthcare in regions across the country, and march in a bid to help cut NHS waiting lists that have spiraled higher during the coronavirus pandemic. The rollout comes after a recent pilot of Foundry's system at 2 hospitals, Chelsea and Westminster, to help reduce the inpatient waiting time by 28%. Wow. The inpatient waiting list, the equivalent of tens of thousands of patients for all non-emergency surgeries, including cancer. So basically, they implemented Foundry into the software. They're trying to see how Foundry could be the ontology of that. They implemented Foundry into the hospital, and they tried to figure out how Palantir could be the ontology of that hospital, how it could make sense in that hospital. And as a result of it making sense by hospital, tens of thousands of patients, or 28%, were able to better get served in non-emergency situations, including for cancer treatments. Because obviously, if you have cancer, it doesn't mean you have to get surgery, but you may be getting chemo, or you may be getting a different type of treatment, and the wait times on those can be really annoying for a lot of patients. Interesting. Palantir employs 600 people in the UK and plans to hire an additional 250 this year. So out of those 1,000, it seems like we're getting 250 going to the UK. They process sensitive health and national security data for UK public authorities, including NHS England, the Cabinet Office, and the Ministry of Defense. Very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. According to the NHS, 6 million people are now on the waiting list for elective care, all non-urgent medical services ranging from diagnostic tests and scans to surgery and cancer treatment, up from 4 million people prior to the pandemic. Palantir's technology works by bringing together disparate data such as number of patients waiting per clinician, operating theater schedule, staff rosters, and patients into a single system. Yeah, so we keep hearing this, right? Like we keep hearing like all of it sometimes sounds kind of like wild to just think like, okay, you implement them and all of their stuff goes in one place. And that's kind of why the forward deployed engineers needs to quote unquote consult with the company to actually customize the product. But when you do customize the product, you get a really sticky solution. And even if you don't get money in the first two phases, in the acquire expand phase over the next couple of years, you start to realize that you can charge a lot more because these clients aren't going to not use your software. I mean, this is crazy, guys. Like the NHS is saving thousands of people's of time in the UK that is obviously vital because it's in a hospital just because of technology and the software. Like when you talk about some of the most important software in the world, I think that's kind of the point of this and how you're doing this. Palantir long says Palantir to $13 today. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting $13. Let me open up Webull. Let's look at the market open. See how Webull is doing or how the market is doing. Okay, so this is the market. We're looking at it. I don't know why it's like every time I share it, it like does this flashy thing too much. There is a lot of red. It's not like there's not a lot of red. So as we can see, oh, here we go. It's a lot better. Palantir's up 2.78% as of now, 0.33% after market hours. Nothing too crazy. I mean, there is a lot of red, but there is a lot of green too. Let's look at the SPY. How is the SPY doing? 429. Oh, it's down. We're in a downtrend. SPY is definitely on a downtrend. So why we're at, so we're at a 429, 439. We're down below 432. Interesting. Okay, so SPY is on a downtrend, but where is Bitcoin? How are we doing with Bitcoin? ETH is okay. So Bitcoin's at 43. Bitcoin is actually doing phenomenally well. So yesterday it was stuck at 37,000 over the past 5 days. Then it made its run up to 44 at the heights, as you can see here. And now it's just going down 42. SoFi, we're going to talk about SoFi, guys. Don't worry. I'm interested in SoFi. I do not own the stock yet, but SoFi is an interesting company. I actually got some information from a friend who's even deeper in SoFi than Palantir, and they're like really big on Palantir. And they think SoFi can even be bigger than Palantir, to be honest. Now, is that hyperbole? Maybe, but it's definitely really interesting. SoFi, let's look at SoFi's chart. All right, SoFi is opening. Let's do the range. Let's do the 5-day range on SoFi. So SoFi was down here at $8 on February 24th. Now SoFi is around 12.80. We're gonna go to their earnings in a second. After hours, yeah, they hit 13, so they couldn't sustain 13. I had a feeling they weren't going to sustain 13. Like all this, their earnings were amazing, but the problem is the market, right? The problem is the market is just not allowing them to fly the way they need to be able to fly. I forgot about like 30 shares of SoFi a couple weeks ago. Yeah, SoFi is interesting. So SoFi's, yeah, it's gonna be fighting to in my Discord yesterday, people were like, SoFi is going to go crazy. And it was at 1260. And I was like, it was 1260 2 days ago randomly. Like SoFi has an amazing earnings, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to go crazy simply because of the nature of how the market's operating right now. Okay, that's interesting. Morning, Nick. How are you? Brought Tesla. Let's go to Tesla. What is Tesla doing? Because Tesla has been an interesting. Okay, we're at 875. Let's look at Tesla on the 5-day. 700 is what Tesla hit. That was the absolute lowest, 700, 703, around that range. I was thinking of buying it then, but to be honest, guys, I was kind of scared because I was like, I think this could drop further. And if I was the OG Tesla bull, I wouldn't care. But it's like, that's how I feel with Palantir. But it's there. NTDOY when you get the chance. All right, Jacob, I will look at that in a second, and then we'll talk about SoFi. So Tesla's at 875. Now, here's the crucial question for Tesla. Tesla was stuck. Let's look at the year on Tesla. It's really important to look at the year chart on Tesla. This is what Tesla looked like all throughout 2021. Do you see this? So we were at 559 in, let's go to January. January 2021, it was at 850, 887. Then we dropped all the way down to 539. I remember this because I was at the chiropractor's office, and my chiro, he was also into Tesla, and we were both looking at our Robinhoods, and we were like, wow, this is like, why is Tesla this low? But it was always crash. And then here it stayed kind of stagnant, right? It had a little run up, stagnant. And then finally in November, when that delivery report came out, and they delivered like 300,000 or something more vehicles, or the Hertz deal You guys all know the Hertz deal ran all the way up down to 1300 or 1229. And then since then, we've gone down below to 700. Now, the problem is when Tesla gets to 1,000, it's $1 trillion company. And that's when I think people start thinking like, all right, should I buy $1 trillion company? What is the value here? But the problem is Tesla's growing. Tesla's going to keep growing 50, 60%. It's just inevitable. And, the problem is they've already had a massive, massive run up. I mean, let's look at the full chart on Tesla. Look at the 5-year on Tesla. In 2017, Tesla was at $38 and it stayed there. I mean, it went up, but like relatively stagnant. It went to 100, back down to 80. And then 2021, this is where you get the run up, right? For to 1,000 from 30. So it's like when you go from 30 to 1,000, it's hard to imagine making it go further, but I believe Tesla can. It's just a question of at what point do you want to entry at this point to keep it going from there. Will says, yeah, I wish I bought more Tesla below 750. Got a couple shares, but didn't have enough cash. Any ideas if we'll see those prices again? I mean, it is very possible. I just think it's hard given like how the market is U-turning, but you don't know. All right, NTDOY. Let's look at that. NTDOY. That is from Jacob. Oh, this is a Nintendo? Yeah, this is just a Nintendo. I've not researched. I mean, I used to play with a Nintendo. So on the 5-year, Nintendo was at 15. It was at $11 in 2015. Got to a high of 82. Roundabout, and now it's at 62. Yeah, the way I think about Nintendo or these types of legacy I don't see them as super, super innovative. Like, Mario Brothers was cool a while ago. I don't know if it is now. I'm looking for companies that can really 10 or 20x when I'm like at this stage of my life. That's the type of portfolio that I want to create. And my question is, can Nintendo become a $620? Like, what in the gaming industry could get this to go big? Now, granted, I don't know enough about Nintendo, right? But that's really important as well. Lucid is really important. Oh, let's see what someone said. Rip Palantir. What's going on with Palantir? Are we getting hit with the market as always? 11.8. Yeah, I mean, it's my down 3%. See, this is the thing. It's just like the market. It doesn't respect anything. Good news. It just drops us. I think the catalyst we need to sustain, and that's why it doesn't even phase me, is like we really, really need good earnings and institutions to just like buy and hold the stock at this point. It's going to be very difficult for it to look at that. Wow, that's a nasty red candle. Wow. Green candle trying to form. But it's kind of like, like when this news came out, why would institutions sell off the stock? That is the question. And that's the stuff I'm trying to figure out. Like this partnership with John Jacobs, Shingleheimer Smith. You guys remember that song? I don't know why. Like 11 said, look, we're already down almost 3.5%. Again, I don't care. I'm just used to it at this point, but it's confusing to see why they sell it off when good news happens. That's why I think a good earnings and a couple of good earnings is going to have to happen at the same time for it to go with there. Some people just selling it open. Yeah, I mean, some people just sell the news, to be honest. Some people. Let's look at Open. How's Open doing? Because Open is one of those stocks that got destroyed. Are we still? Yeah, Open still got this. Guys, look at this. I showed this the other day, but look at this stock. Look at that. Talk about. I think Nick, you're in the chat, right? You go skiing, right, Nick? I think I have a feeling you said you go skiing. Have you ever seen a slope like this? You ever been down this type of slope? I know you've been through some slopes, but this is a different type of slope. Look at this, $11, and it was stuck there for a while. Bazoom, $8, and the earnings weren't crazy. The earnings were not great. People are saying the ultimate growth portfolio over the next 10 years is SoFi, Open, and Palantir. And I believe in the Palantir case. I don't know enough about the SoFi and Open case, but I know SoFi is kind of big. We're going to talk about SoFi in a second. But Open is getting decimated as well. All right, let's look at. So I want to go to SoFi earnings in a second. Let me pull this up real quick. SoFi earnings, CNBC. We're going to look at it in a little bit, and then we'll keep going from there. Let me just pull up the chart on SoFi as well. Let's see how it's doing right now. SoFi Tech. So the one thing to understand about SoFi CEO is the most important thing, and I'm going to pull that up right now because this is a DM I got from a guy yesterday who told me to check this guy out. So this is the CEO of SoFi. Let's share my screen. Here we go. Anthony Nodu. I don't know if you guys know this guy, Anthony Nodu. Okay. So Anthony Nodu This guy is Goldman Sachs vice president. He was CFO of the NFL. He was CFO of Twitter, and now he's CFO of SoFi. He has a very long and rich history in fintech. And so people are claiming that, oh, first of all, Brian Traves for the super sat. Thank you so much. Will the defense budget increases we are seeing across Europe head Palantir's way? If not, does this change any thesis for you? So good question. I'm going to answer that. Let me talk about SoFi real quick, and then I'll answer that. This Anthony Nodu guy, right? This guy understands fintech at a deeper level. A lot of people claim that SoFi is a pump and dump from Chamath, and I understand that because a lot of times, to be honest, it's like, look, Chamath has done some crazy stuff, but you also think that, well, maybe it's not just a pump and dump. Maybe there's something bigger, and I think you have to look at management to understand if it's a pump and dump or if it's not a pump and dump. So look at this guy's bio real quick. CEO of SoFi in February 2018, previously CEO of Twitter from November 2016 to November 2018, Chief Operating Officer of Twitter. That's a pretty big role. CFO of Twitter from July 2014 to August 2017. So this guy understands just the world of like management. Prior to joining Twitter, he was the co-head of global telecommunications, media technology, investment banking at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs in 2012. He was at the NFL. He oversaw the league-wide finance strategy and functions. He has a really rich history. It's not the type of guy that would be like he's like an Alex Karp to me without the super philosophy type of stuff, just in terms of experience. So it's really interesting to think about SoFi writ large. Let me answer the Palantir question from the super chat. So the defense budget increasing, I think, is really important because $100 billion increasing, at least in Germany, for defense budgets and obviously for other places, means that those countries are looking to allocate capital to technology-based solutions to defense problems. Palantir is in the prime to be able to win those solutions, and that only increases the TAM of the governmental sector from 56 billion to, like, I don't know, maybe 100 billion over the next couple of years. Palantir not getting those contracts would be a little concerning for me, given I think they're the best and the most well positioned to get those. But the problem is we just won't know for the next couple quarters. Like, we're not going to know probably till Q4, given like it takes time to secure these deals, and the revenue from these deals is probably not going to come for the next 2 or 3 years. I believe they're primed to secure this stuff. I think that's why Karp just gave a conference in Munich, in Germany, right where this happened. So we will ultimately see how this happens. By the way, Nodu has a podcast launching on 3. Okay, very good. Palantir is going around 7 according to my analysis. Hey, if it does go to 7, then we are gonna. Well, I will be buying a lot more. I bought SoFi once they got that bank charter. Yeah, that bank charter was interesting, man. That bank charter to me was like $1 billion or something in terms of a deal. I was just like, interesting. They're really, really doing some dope stuff. Let me show you guys a tweet that I want to talk about that'll summarize SoFi's earnings by Puru. I don't know if you guys follow Puru. Interesting name that guy has, Puru. So let's go to Puru. This guy's like a Twitter guru guy, but he's kind of legit. You know, he's not like just this random dude. He used to manage like a lot of money in Hong Kong and stuff. All right, so here's SoFi Q1 results. The revenue, 67% year over year. Adjusted revenue, 54%. Members, 3.5 million. They added 523,000 members. Products, 5.2 million, up 105% with their lending segment. And the revenue of 42%. Number of accounts is 100 million. I'm long SoFi. So for people who don't know what SoFi is, just go to SoFi, right? SoFi is a bank, from what I understand, okay? Better banking is here, 1% API, no account fees. So all of these services right here is where you get what SoFi, like, to me, SoFi is what Robinhood should be, because none of this stuff is in Robinhood. Now, granted, Robinhood just does this, the invest part, and Robinhood does it really well, you know, just in terms of user behavior, gamification, get people to really care about it, get people to feel, you know, like when you buy something, there's confetti and stuff. But SoFi offers that, but SoFi offers so much more, right? So like investing, they have crypto, retirement accounts, automated investing, everything that Robinhood has, right? Basic stuff. But then if you look at their products, you look at student loan refinancing, credit cards, personal loans, home loans, small business finance. Like, Robinhood is not doing small business financing, but Cathie Wood is dumping, you know, God knows how many millions, hundreds of millions into Robinhood. So it's just so interesting, like, the difference between these two companies. And it makes sense why Chamath pumped this up, but I don't think this dump was meant to be dumped. I think it was, you know, growth stock environment that's going on right now. And that's sort of the main thing at this point. So SoFi is very, very interesting. SoFi is a solid 10x opportunity right now, in my opinion, if things go right. Only 9. Yeah, that's the other thing. SoFi's market cap is small, man. SoFi's market cap is super, super small. All right, let's go back to Webull. Let's look at some charts. Look at some charts. By the way, guys, it's the second day of March. I hope your goals for this month are on track to being accomplished. Oh, Bitcoin, we're up 44,670. Nice green candle right there. Bitcoin's aiming for that 50 again. When Bitcoin aims for 50 again, I think we're gonna start to see a reverse trend in like really high growth stocks. And we're gonna see ultimately how that operates. The thing that annoys me about their application bar is the competency questions. Yeah, that makes sense. Hold on. You guys are talking about the Kramer comments. Let me address that video that came out real quick yesterday from Palantir Vision. Let's talk about that real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen it. We're gonna watch it right now. This video is kind of hilarious, to be honest. All right, let's look at this video together. This is this is Jim Cramer talking about Palantir. Who was saying to buy it at 25, by the way. That's why it's just hard to take this guy serious at this point. Like, I don't get it, bro. All right, let's watch this.
Looking at Palantir, and from their financials, looks like they have a strategy of invest startups that will earn by Palantir's products. My question is this a sustainable growth model or a potential red flag?
I really despised their conference call. I thought they were very glib. They did talk about turning some civilian, getting a lot of civilian business, which is what they want. But I mean, how can you buy it? I mean, look, if this stock were at 1,200, in other words, you just multiply, you did a reverse whatever split, then what you would see is people would be buying Palo Alto again. I think the attraction of Palantir is this ridiculous $12 handle, and I wish it weren't like that, because it is nowhere near as good as Palo Alto, or CrowdStrike for that matter, even Zscaler. Look, I think we may be a little closer to the bottom of this market. This is not a dip. No one's urging people to buy a dip. This is a...
All right. Leave it in the comments and what your chats have to saying. Sorry, guys. There's an echo. See, it's so the echo thing, guys. I muted my mic yesterday, and then there was no audio. But then when I didn't mute my mic, there was an audio. So then there was an echo. There was an echo. I don't know why that happens. Again, third stream of my life trying to make sure this works out correctly. It's weird that happens. But nonetheless, Kramer said if Palantir was $1,200 over, what it is right now at $12, then it would be, people wouldn't be buying it, right? People would be buying Palo Alto Network. So he's saying a reverse split, if there were, instead of 2 billion shares, there were that divided by 10, so like 200 million shares. And the price of each of the value of Palantir was $1,200 versus $12. So it would go up by 10 because the number of shares would be just less by 10. Then as a result, people wouldn't be buying it. People would be buying Palo Alto Networks. It kind of makes sense if you don't compare it to Palo Alto Networks. And it also doesn't make sense. Like the reason it doesn't, the reverse split thing kind of makes sense in terms of the numbers. But the problem is, why would Palantir be at $1,200 a share? Why would they only have 200 million shares outstanding? That's stupid. And second of all, why are you comparing it to Palo Alto Networks? Palo Alto Networks doesn't do any of the stuff that that Palantir does. It shows his lack of same with CrowdStrike. Like he thinks they're a cybersecurity stock. It's like CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity, but that's not necessarily what only Palantir is in. The audio is a lot clearer than Kramer's knowledge on Palantir. It is so weird, guys. It is so weird. Like it's just confusing how Kramer talks on it. And I don't understand why he talks on it in that way. Like he's just, again, I think the nature of Kramer in this type of job is like his job is to talk about every single stock. So because his job is to talk about every single stock, he constantly has to provide some level of content for every single. So when people are like, oh, why do you make so many videos on Palantir? It's because like, well, I'm focused on one stock. Can I get one stock right in a world in which most people on YouTube are talking about everything and really giving weird advice and not like, can I get one stock? Can I talk about one thing right and know everything about that company? Because if I could do that, I feel like that's a success. Whereas someone like Kramer, he's responsible for talking about the entire market. And then you get these weird contradictory takes because of course you're not going to talk about the market in a meaningful way because it's because you're just not going to be able to do it, right? Like you don't know that much about them. I don't care how good you are at the stock. You don't know that much about the market to talk about it in the best way possible. Kramer is a comedian, not to mention Palantir can be used. Let's pin this one, A. Sanchez. Not to mention Palantir can be used for cybersecurity, but that's not its core business right now. Yeah, exactly, right? We're talking about Palantir just got a deal to make sure AI operations in water infrastructure goes well. CrowdStrike is not doing that. Like, does that make sense? That's not happening. So if that's not happening, you can't compare these two. Now, but Palantir could do a lot of cybersecurity stuff that CrowdStrike is doing, but that's not their core business. They're doing a lot of different things. And as a result of that, there's a fundamentally different relationship. Why does Kramer sound like Yoda? I don't know. Kramer does sound like Yoda. Kramer is the ultimate flip-flop. Fire Kramer, hire Amit. Bro, could you imagine? I think what CNBC could do one day is hire Kevin. I feel like if they gave Kevin a contract over Kramer, I don't know if they would get more views, but they would definitely have I think Meet Kevin could be an interesting Kramer. Now, he would have to be contradictory all the time because that's the nature of that job, to be honest. But I think that could ultimately happen. Dow Kramer, even know the ticker symbol for Palantir. He probably thinks it's like PRTL. Ethereum, we crossed 3,000. Let me share my screen here. Ethereum crossed 3,000. Wow. Okay, here we go. How many of you guys are in crypto heavy? Heavy meaning at least 30%. 30% to me is decently heavy. How many people are in crypto heavy? Nice green candle on Ethereum. Wow. SoFi doing relatively well. Tesla at 882, almost at 900. Bitcoin 44. Again, it's there. Nike is an interesting stock. Nike was at 98 during the pandemic, and I didn't buy it. I didn't fully get it. Facebook. Let's look at good old Facebook. Guys, look at this drop. I just want to acknowledge this drop and how sad this drop is. Look at that. Goodness. 325. That's when I bought it. Earnings. Plop. 205. Got to 190 at one point. I sold out at 216. It was a good decision at that time. But I mean, because again, if I was gonna wait for Facebook to come, I would have had to really buy the dip, and I just was not ready to buy that dip given what I see. Mark crypto 80%. Wow, you're into crypto. Oh wow, Glitch Life. I only own Coin. I treat Coin as a crypto ETF. It's about 8% of my portfolio. Coinbase is interesting to me. Coinbase is interesting. Let's look at Coinbase stock. Let's look at the 1 year. So when Coinbase went public at 250, I thought it was kind of insane. And that same day it ran up to 429. I mean, it was obviously going to come back down. Like, it was not going to stay up that high. That's why it was weird when Kathy was buying it at 250. Because I was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is obviously it's volatile with crypto. So it's like there has to be some level of analysis that crypto is not going to go to 1 billion in the next couple months, right? So I don't know. Coinbase was just an interesting IPO to me because it seemed really not overvalued, but just really expensive at the moment. And now it's kind of back to normal. Look, if the thing about Coinbase is that if Bitcoin and Ethereum don't go up, Coinbase does not go up. That's it. Yeah, no, Coinbase is a good company. Trust me, the financials in the company are very, very, very good. The question is, can Coinbase ultimately go large? Boris says, hi, Mick Greens from Turkey. Hello, Boris. Thank you for being here. It's a question of if Coinbase has any potential, if crypto doesn't have any potential. And that's the bet, right? So that's why I think if you're bullish on Coinbase, you literally have to be bullish on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like, you cannot be bullish on Coinbase without being bullish on these two currencies. Because when they go down, Coinbase, first of all, trading volume will go down. Everyone will just be selling on Coinbase. Coinbase doesn't offer any type of services outside of really buying and trading. And their whole commission-based structure, I think, is a little bit of a red flag to me, just because there's other places where you could buy it for free. So it's eventually they will have to go commissionless, which means they will have to have some type of new business model. So it's to me, if you own Coinbase and you don't own Ethereum and Bitcoin, or you don't constantly track those, then it's going to be hard to justify owning that stock. And I'm not that heavy into crypto. That's why I'm not that heavy into Coinbase. But I definitely believe there is a world in which crypto, has a big potential. It's just a question of if it's going to happen or not, if it actually could be that revolutionary force. DPO. Yeah. It was. Sunset on Palantir. How can we get your thoughts and narratives into the mainstream media? Look, I'm just one YouTuber with 10,000 subscribers. By the way, coming out of it with a video today talking about 10,000 subscribers and sort of the thought process around that. So thank you everyone for subscribing. If you didn't know, I launched a Patreon, $5 a month. It's in the description. It helps sustain the channel. I hate selling stuff, but that's just how we kind of sustain the channel at this point, because it is hard to rely just on YouTube ad revenue. So if you guys want to check that out, get access to exclusive Discord. We have a lot of chats throughout the day. Very, very, very fun stuff. And so, yeah, that's how we're doing this right here. Now, the thing is, my one $10,000 subscriber channel isn't going to influence Palantir in the stock. That's why when people are like, you're pumping, it's like, bro, like, I don't even think Meet Kevin can move a stock, to be honest. Like, let's say Meet Kevin gets 1 million views on a video and 1 million people buy a stock. Okay. Like even if 1 million people bought Palantir gets a lot of daily volume. So like 1 million people buying it, there's going to be 1 million people selling it. Right. So it's just like, it's hard. Pumps don't happen through social. Pumps only happen when there's a low float, right? So when that dude, Dave Portnoy, when Portnoy pumped up a biotech and the float on that biotech was like 15 million, that's when we saw a real pump from like 30 cents to $1.44. That's like almost a tripling or a doubling or something. So that stuff just doesn't happen with channels like mine. SoFi running out of stream. Yeah, I had a feeling it was. Garkin, you'll admit. What's up, Garkin? Thank you for being here. Crypto Foundry, something that's never been. So Crypto Foundry doesn't get advertised a lot. I'm looking at Roblox, by the way, guys. I don't think they have enough business for Crypto Foundry, to be honest. I think that's the problem with Crypto Foundry. Look at Roblox, 140. Do you guys remember the day that Roblox ran up from like right here? Yeah. It was at 78 and then it ran up to like 140, 110 after hours because of some phenomenal earnings. And then ever since then, it's just been a falling knife. Guys, who's into a firm? I literally just dropped the mic. That's how much I was into a firm. A firm I wanted to buy at 90. I was ready to buy this guy at 90, bruh. I was ready to buy it. I liked it. I was like, this is so cool. And then like when it got to 160, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Buy now, pay later. Then it got to 90 here. What was that, 90? It was that, December. I was like, I think this is a good buy. And I'm just so thankful I did not buy a firm because my goodness. I don't think it's a bad company either. I do think there's some questions on if buy now, pay later is innovative or if it's like, something that is sustainable. But I think that they will run up when the market runs up as well. It's just a question of do they get back to 140, right? That treasured low land of 170 or 160. It's going to be a little bit harder to get there. To be fair, it could be like the Wall Street Bets effect. There are algos that track social media mentions, sentiments, and trade according to that. That's where real volume comes from. Yeah, that's very true, Rules. Lots of social media algorithms ultimately determine a lot of regular pumps. Glitch Life says, buy now, pay later is in a bubble. The making, the reason we had the last 2 major crashes was bad debt. That's a good point. That's actually a very good point. The reason we had that was the debt that happened from a place ago, and that allowed that to form a little bit of that bubble. Lufty says, I don't trust any SPAC from Chamath. Most of them feel like a bit pump and dumpish. Chamath just bails out really quickly. Yeah, look at this. This is the space stock. This was Chamath. He was on the board of it, and then so I think he sold out around here in the 20s or 50s when he took it public. This was an interesting stock. Now it's at $9. This stock is space tourism, and Chamath just like dipped on space tourism. He was like, yeah, screw it, I'm out. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. That's why I was asking my friend, like, yo, is SoFi legit? Like, is it actually legit or is it not legit? Because I'm not sure about it. Jacobs Palantir for a strategic deal to transform water treatment. If you reverse the stream a little bit, we talked about that. I'll come out with a video coming much more sooner on my thoughts and details around that deal, but very, very awesome deal. Very good stuff. Should fans start being called emit heads? Guys, we got to come up with a cool name because my name is not necessarily the coolest name to. People have called me a mitten. So I'm like, should we call people mittens? Is that how we guys want to call our fans? Is that what we're doing? If I wake up, I'm going to put this on while I work. All right. Bet Showcat Hussein. Bet. We're coming near to the end of the stream. Let's answer some final questions. I would avoid a firm. Buy now. Yeah, we talked about that. What else are you invested in? Okay, so I'm invested in a stock called PPBT. I don't talk about it a lot because it's a biotech stock. Very risky stock. I have about 20K in it, actually, because I really do believe they have the cure for cancer. Now, that sounds crazy. I sound like a madman. That's why I don't even try to get into it. But PPBT, very low float, purple biotech. Just had a guy leave a biopharmaceutical company that does $25 billion in revenue to join PPBT as their chief business officer. Multiple collaborations with Bristol Myers Squibb, like NT219, their main drug, reduced tumors in June 4th, 2021 in their latest press release. So like a lot of good stuff there. But again, I don't talk about it too much because it's a biotech. And biotech is really, really risky and scary. I'm thinking like 3-4 years from now, that stock is going to be like, is that $2 right now? I think that stock would be like $30, $40, just given the nature of their deals they would get acquired for. But it is very scary. So, but that's one of my main thing. What percentage of portfolio is about 60% in Palantir, I would say. I think I'm gonna stick to the OG nickname bag holder, AK. That is the OG nickname bag. Start a poll for your name. All right, we'll do that tomorrow. I'll brainstorm some names and we will do from that. All right, guys, we're going to end this off 40 minutes. I do have to run a little bit. Got to get some work done. So morning live stream will be ending a little bit early. So usually we end at 10:15. So we just got to end about 15 minutes earlier. Thank you, everyone, for joining. 265 people. Very, very amazing. 3 days in a row. We've done this for 3 days. March 2nd, third day of my life, open streaming and live streaming the market, covering the news that's happening. 260 people showing up means the absolute world to me. Check out the Patreon if you guys have it in the description if you'd like to join. I will see you guys in a lot of videos today, a lot of content coming out talking about all these Palantir deals. Have an amazing, amazing day. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Bye-bye, and make it a good day. Get your stuff done. You know, life is hard, but if you're down the process of just trying to keep trying and get things done, then good things can happen. I will see you guys tomorrow.